A series of theory videos. First thing, I think is really important. A lot of people struggle with this. I struggled with this for a long time too, in the beginning. Learning where your notes are. This is really important. Now there's some tricks that you can do. Basically, the first thing you need to learn is the names of your strings. E, A, D, G, B, E. I had a student once who came up with a funny rhyme to help him remember this. It was Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. E, A, D, G, B, E. Learning this, learning the musical alphabet, which is basically A sharp. Now let me show you. A sharp, B. B doesn't have a sharp though, it goes directly to C. C sharp, D, D sharp, E. E also doesn't have a sharp, goes directly to F. F sharp, G, G sharp, and then you're back at A again. That's why there's the double dot here. Well, most guitars have a double dot here. The 12th fret, where the harmonics are, this is where the notes start all over again. So everything past the 12th fret is sort of like a mirror image of what happens over here. So meaning that the first fret is the same as the 13th. This is F, and this is an F, one octave higher. Now, for instance, if you're on the G string, you're looking for, let's say, an F. So on the G, just count. After G is G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, and then there's F. So there's no real way of getting around this. I mean, you really have to learn where your notes are. Learning to read music really helps, but it's just sort of understanding what you're doing. So if you're playing with a group of people and they're giving you a bunch of chords to jam on top of, you'll immediately know anywhere on top on the fingerboard where you can be playing these notes, where you can be playing these chords, where you can be playing these scales. There's a few tricks you can use to find out where the notes are as well too, instead of having to count through the alphabet. The top string, one interesting piece of history is, why are there dots here? Most guitars have a dot on the 3rd fret. This one doesn't. But usually have a dot 3, 5, 7, 9, and then 12. So the weird thing about the guitar is, why is there a dot on the 9th fret? If you look at the notes, you have a G, an A, and a B. And then on an A string you have C, D, E. But these are all sharp notes. This is a C sharp and that's an F sharp. French gypsy guitars have a dot on the 10th fret, and for the longest time I was like, why would they do that? Because everybody's used to having a dot on the 9th fret. It actually makes perfect sense, because then you have G, A, B, C would be right there because there's no B sharp directly to C, and then the 10th fret would have a D. So all of your dots on a French gypsy guitar would be natural notes. So it makes perfect sense. Same on the A string. C, D, E, and then E again doesn't have a sharp, so it goes directly to F and then to G. So looking at a guitar like that, it's a little similar to looking at a piano. You know immediately where the notes are, and it's very easy to see where everything is once you're learning your theory. And so guitar can work like this if you ignore the 9th fret. Yeah, so G, A, B, C, D, E. G, A, B, C, D, E. Then your sharps, or flats, are in between the dots. Anyways, so this is how you learn where your notes are.